From One Hub Stadium in Brisbane, Round 4 of the Australian Baseball League season begins tonight as the four-time defending champion Brisbane Bandits welcome in the Auckland Tuatara. Welcome on into the broadcast booth with Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez. I'm Eric Bramer. This is the first full Bandits.tv broadcast of the season, and we're excited to bring it to you. Brisbane started 0-4 in the season on the road. They returned home, and all of their ills were solved, it seems. The old adage goes, you play 500 baseball on the road, you win your games at home. The Bandits are back to an even 500 at 6-6, and that's good enough for a tie for first place.
Well, that's where they want to be. We're talking about we're still in the first part. The team's still adjusting to new talent. The positive side, tough field in Blacktown plays big, but the guys manufactured runs at the right time and came home with a big win in Game 4.
Auckland in a tricky situation. They've been through a lot of adversity on and off the field. Losers of 6 straight. They came back strong and won their final 3 games against Canberra to take a series win over the Cavalry. They're playing pretty good baseball right now.
They're playing great baseball. Like I said, it's a startup organization, and they've done so much. The new facility is amazing. They started off with a tough situation emotionally as a club, but I got a chance to speak with Mincy. They're in a really good mindset, and they feel very confident this weekend.
Tonight's starting pitcher, Ryan Ballinger. He began the year in the bullpen. We've seen him in all sorts of different roles for the Bandits. This is probably where he's at his best when he has a chance to show his different pitch mixes multiple times through the lineup.
Look, I think perfect timing, and it's the right man for the bump.
It is cloudy but dry in Brisbane. We are pleased to report that last night it rained pretty hard, something the region needed quite badly, and the field looks great as a result. Ballinger on the mound, making his first start of the season, last pitched on Saturday in Sydney, took the loss, inning and 2/3 with 4 hits and 2 runs. With the tight margins in that Sydney series, there wasn't a whole lot of room for error. Ballinger just didn't have it, and the hope is that getting back to where he's familiar in the starting rotation is what he needs to do.
Well, I think this is perfect. I mean, David's worked him in well. He had a very taxing season in Taiwan and a brilliant year over the offseason. So right now, I think David's got him where he wants him. He's got him back in the number 1 slot, and I think he'll work well today in this tough 4-game series.
So far for Ballinger on the year, 0-2 with an ERA of 4.32. The Tuatara are just 2 games back of Brisbane with a 4-8 record. That's tied for 3rd in the Northeast Division. Tuatara lineup begins with Yanni Hernandez, the shortstop, leading off. Batting second and playing second is Kent Blackstone. Batting third and playing at third base is Josh Morgan. The cleanup hitter and first baseman is Jared Walker. Batting fifth in center field, Max Brown. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Andrew Mark. Batting seventh in left field, Kim Wan Seok. Batting eighth, the catcher, Johnny Hamza. And batting ninth in right field, Chris Richards. Tuatara managed by Steve Mintz, an ABL mainstay in his 2nd season at the helm of this club. Over in the States, he is in the Texas Rangers developmental system as a pitching coach, and there are a couple Rangers prospects on this Tuatara roster. Plenty of talent here, and if you have only one team in a nation, as New Zealand does, you get all your best players to play for this team.
No, look, and like I said, I mentioned earlier in the piece, they've just completed the new stadium. Absolutely fantastic and a great job by the organization and obviously all the people in New Zealand. Mincy, we're talking about someone that understands the culture of the Australian Baseball League. He actually was part of the Adelaide Bite franchise at that stage. So he's acclimated really well. Spoke to him earlier in the piece, and he seems he's got a good ball club this year to work with.
First pitch is a ball, missing outside and maybe a little bit up at 6:04 local time. Temperature 28 degrees Celsius with wind, as usual, blowing out to right field at 18 kilometers per hour. Ballinger's next gets a swing and a miss from Yanni Hernandez, the right-handed hitting shortstop in the Texas system. Steve Mintz was the pitching coach for the Down East Wood Ducks in the Carolina League this past year. He was on the coaching staff that saw Yanni Hernandez play well enough with Down East to earn a Double-A promotion midway through the season. Fouled off the count 1-2. Ballinger throws a fastball, cutter, slider, splitter, and a change. One-two coming. Pounded off the plate, right back to Ryan. He fields and throws on target to first for the first out of the first inning. Defensively, the Bandits line up like this. They got Jeremy Martinez catching the lefty Ballinger. David Sutherland at first base, Mitch Nielsen at second, Logan Wade at short, and Wade Dutton at third. Left to right across the outfield, it's Campbell, Caldwell, and Lutz. A little bit of a different look to see Caldwell in center rather than left. Andrew Campbell is the mainstay in center, but with a small field here, you can afford to make some changes without really feeling the repercussions.
Yeah, look, not a lot of real estate to cover in center, but overall defensively they're pretty solid. You look at a few of the changes, Nielsen at second and Wade at third. See how they're tested over the weekend, but early on in this ball game, Bollinger looks like he's throwing the ball well and getting ahead in the count.
Kent Blackstone at the plate lifts a high fly deep to left, but on the edge of the warning track, Campbell hauls it in for the second out. Blackstone, one of the top performers in round 3 as the Tuatara beat the Cavalry 3 games out of 4. Another look at that, and we were just mentioning the short dimensions here at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. If there's any place to hit it to the opposite field and take your chances, it's here, but that one just didn't have enough as Josh Morgan steps to the plate.
I think that's one of the positives for the Bandits all year, and when you look at their pitching, I think to have success in this ballpark, when you transition to a bigger ballpark, you feel like you've got a graveyard to work with. So pitching hasn't really been an issue all year. It's just making sure they get key hits in big situations.
Morgan, like Hernandez, playing in the Texas Rangers system this past American summer. Overthrow, too tall for Bollinger, and he's an easygoing guy. He laughs it off and gets a fresh pearl. Morgan played only one game for the AA Frisco Rough Riders. 2 years ago, he was much more of a mainstay at that level. Chase pitch, and Morgan doesn't bite. 1-2. Mention the 5 different pitches that Jim Bennett, the pitching coach, says Bollinger throws. When he is coming out of the bullpen, he doesn't have an opportunity to showcase the different options that he provides. But when he is in a starting capacity, those 5 pitches come in quite handy.
Absolutely, and it allows him to pace himself too.
Cracked in the air deep to center field. Going back, Caldwell at the wall, and it's gone. A first inning home run for Josh Morgan, and the Tuatara take an early 1-0 lead. For Morgan, his first home run, and for Auckland, just their 4th of the season. It's an early advantage on the road in Brisbane.
We get a chance to see the replay here. Looks like just missed the ball up in the zone. I think Bollinger even acknowledged that, just saying he missed middle up, and we know, particularly here, if you do elevate the baseball in the strike zone, we will travel and get out of the ballpark.
Here's Jared Walker, left-handed hitting first baseman. First pitch misses down and away. Crowd filling in. Plenty of cloud cover today. That helps the temperature. Again, down and away. We do not know how deep into the ball game Bollinger will be asked to go. First 3 rounds, he was coming out of the bullpen in a relief role. Takes a little bit of time to stretch someone out fully in terms of pitch count. Fouled straight to the backstop. 2-0 count. Walker knew what was coming there.
I think the one thing we'll probably see him go in that 80 pitch mark first start, and I'm sure David would hope to get 5 minimum out of him, and I think that's well within his workload. The key will be his efficiencies through the game.
Just missing, and the count 3-1 with Max Brown on deck. Tom West calling balls and strikes behind home plate. James Shields, the umpire, at first, and the crew chief Mal Mackay is at third. The man bumped out of the Bandits rotation, Corey Taylor, is not for lack of success. There's a pitch on the inside corner. Walker thought it was ball 4. Instead, the count will run full, and he'll have to retreat and grab his lumber. Taylor was nothing short of brilliant. As we take another look at that pitch. Strike? Close enough. Well framed by the catcher Martinez.
Now the zone will have to expand as a hitter, because after walking on potentially a strike, so see how he approaches this pitch.
There's ball 4. It came a pitch later than Walker wanted, but he finds first base anyway, and the first inning will continue. Max Brown set to bat next. Corey Taylor, 2 wins, 1 loss through the first 3 rounds, an ERA of 3.5. He had a little bit of a semi-no-hit bid going in Sydney. But it's more about playing to Ballinger's strengths as a starter than any perceived punishment for Taylor. I think they feel Taylor can pitch well regardless of where he's coming in the game. Another ball, and Ballinger having some trouble finding the strike zone.
And I think it's how David sees his workload as well. So David's very creative with him and Bennett as far as how they get each of their starters' workloads in, and he really prepares for the back end of the season. So a lot of forward planning goes into play as well.
Walker does lead the team with 4 stolen bases. The lefty on the mound, he stays put. It's well hit, but right to the third baseman. Dutton fires across the diamond to retire Brown, and that does it for the Tuatara in the first inning. But Josh Morgan goes deep to center field, and Auckland has a 1-0 lead with the Bandits coming to bat.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
Bandits face an early 1-0 deficit as we head to the home half of the first inning here in Brisbane. Here's the lineups that the Bandits will send against Kyle Glogowski. Leading off in left field, Andrew Campbell. Batting second at shortstop, Logan Wade. Batting third in center field, Tim Colwell. Cleanup hitter, second baseman, Mitch Nielsen. Batting fifth in right field, Donald Lutz. Batting sixth, the catcher, Jeremy Martinez. Batting seventh at third base, Wade Dutton. Batting eighth at first base, David Sutherland. And batting ninth, the DH, Dan Nielsen. On the mound for the Tuatara, an Auckland native, Kyle Glogowski. No wins, 1 loss, an ERA of 5.19 for the young righty. First pitch misses low to Campbell. Glogowski, just 20 years old, was stateside just a few months ago. Got the promotion from low A to high A in the Philadelphia Phillies organization. Lakewood Blue Claws, and then the Clearwater Threshers in the Florida State League. Working with a quick pace. He's got a 2-1 count to the dangerous Bandits leadoff man.
Yeah, good live young arm, and obviously acknowledge just to get out of low A into high A, obviously preparing him for double A. You start to establish your secondary pitches, but normally even to get to high A, you've got to have at least show the arm strength and the ability to pitch at that level. And then obviously the next step will be the command of the second and third pitches.
Standard pitch selection for him. Fastball, slider, curve, and a change. 2-2 to Campbell. To the backstop.
That's the secondary.
Not a whole lot of room between home plate and the backstop, so the rebound came back into the dirt. Campbell would love to get aboard, whether it's with a base hit or ball 4. Payoff pitch coming. Fights off a pitch that was not to his liking, but with 2 strikes, you got to protect. the bat remains alive.
And that's what you do, exactly. Anything potentially borderline just to be able to foul that ball off and keep the at-bat alive, and that's what's key. It also puts pressure on the young arm, too.
Check swing just beyond the Auckland dugout down the third base line.
I'm just looking at the overall individual batting stats for the Bandits this year. Overall batting average is down slightly at 247. Slugging percentage sits about 357, but 45 RBIs over the 384 at bat. So they are driving runs, but probably missed a lot of opportunities earlier in the season.
Popped up on the infield, right around the mound. Behind the mound, it's the shortstop Hernandez who makes the catch for the first out. Defensively, the Tuatara, as we take a look at the aftermath of that play. Hamza catching, Walker at first, Blackstone at second, Morgan at third, Hernandez at short, Kim, Brown, and Richards left to right across the outfield. Here's Logan Wade. Wade takes low and away. Switch hitting shortstop. Had his best game of the regular season last year against Auckland. Up and away 2-0. You might remember Wade had a delayed start to his season.
He did.
And made up for lost time. A 2-homer, 5 RBI effort against Auckland in early January. On the outside corner, 2-1. Wade tied for the team lead with 20 total bases so far. Swings through a thigh-high pitch and the count 2-2.
And also leading the team with Nielsen with 6 RBIs. So, to the big offensive threats for this ball club.
Called strike 3, and Wade likes that pitch. He did not swing at it, though. Out number 2 in the first inning.
We're talking about right there about good live arm. That's good pitch, good part of the plate right there, and just able to freeze Logan for out number 2.
Legoski struck out only one batter in his last start. It was a week ago against Canberra. That was a 4-inning start, in which he allowed 4 runs on 3 hits. So he's already matched the strikeout total. Here's Tim Colwell trying to extend the home half of the first inning. Missing outside. The Bandits, at least in this round, will be without their offensive leader in most every statistical category. Colwell stares at a breaking ball, and it's a strike, 1-1.
Good pitch right there. I can't tell. I'll have to keep looking if that is his changeup. So arm action's really clean and just giving that variation of speed.
Skipped off the plate, 2-1. Mike Margema, the third baseman, hit 3 home runs and drove in 10 runs in 11 games for the Bandits, but was absent from the finale of the Sydney series and is not on the active roster this weekend, dealing with an injury. Big gap in the lineup that the Bandits will have to fill.
That's it. I mean, they've got the depth, and I think I heard David mention one of his interviews is he's confident on the guys that he has that can replace him. It is a loss when you lose that type of offensive, plus he's a veteran-type guy in the lineup. But like you said, batters are going to need to step up and fill that void.
Caldwell runs well. If you get him at first, he might as well be at second. Prolific stolen base man over in the States. Payoff pitch coming from Glogowski to Caldwell. Chopped up the middle, charging the shortstop Hernandez. He fields at the base and throws to first. It's a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning for Kyle Glogowski, and we head to the second with the Tuatara on top of the Bandits, 1-0.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
A beautiful night in Brisbane with the Bandits trailing the Auckland Tuatara 1-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Thanks for joining us tonight at One Hub Stadium, the home of the 4-time defending champion Brisbane Bandits. Ryan Ballinger allowed a 2-out solo home run to Josh Morgan in the first inning. Already the third home run that he's served up in just 9 1/3 innings this year. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Tuatara, Mark, Kim, and Hamza. Andrew Mark, big DH, stands in. And he takes up and away ball 1. Mark was actually a Brisbane Bandit back in 2011 and 2012, but at the time he was a pitcher.
I do remember him, a youngster at that stage, and it's great to see him now competing in the new colors. But an attribute to what he's done as far as committing himself to baseball, and now he's giving back to New Zealand.
Now 29 years old, he's leading this team with 4 doubles, and he's got a 3-0 count with Kim Won-seok waiting on deck. Mark, a native of Auckland, actually just turned 30 less than a month ago. There's a strike, 3-1.
I won't ask you now, but I'll get your thoughts. There's been a bit of money being splashed at the MLB level this week.
5-pitch walk to Mark, and Kim Won-seok will bat with a man on and Ballinger in the stretch position. Yeah, just earlier today, Australian time, Anthony Rendon signed a mega deal with the Los Angeles Angels. It's the third big Boris client, Scott Boris, the mega agent, who has gotten a player signed in the last 3 days. It's been a while since we had a really hot stove at the winter meetings, and this year we have that indeed. There's a called strike to Kim Won-seok, the left fielder.
I think it started off with Strass, and then it went to Cole, and then it Rendon. So, I mean, it's very, very active meetings and quite a bit of money being thrown on the table.
Some big guys still on the board, too. 0-1 taken up and away. Madison Bumgarner, Hyunjin Ryu, both on the West Coast, are free agents that figure to sign in the next few days. Josh Donaldson, the biggest third base bat left on the market with Rendon now gobbled up.
I just saw Didi went back to Philly with Girardi. So Didi, a former Canberra Cavalry player and Yankee, and then now Philly.
Ballinger falling behind batters again. Kim batting just 156. That's 5 for 32 so far. Fouls straight back. Got a pitch up and was right on it.
And this is where you don't want to fall in. No matter how good your stuff is, you don't want to fall behind. And Bollinger's now falling behind the back end of the order, which gives Kim an opportunity to take an aggressive swing. So he's got to find his way back down in the zone.
Runner goes. The pitch is fouled off right side. Out of play. Based on Mark's build, you wouldn't figure him to be a base stealer, but he saw something in Ballinger's stretch delivery.
Either that or missed a sign.
A few former major leaguers on this Auckland coaching staff. The manager, Steve Mintz. Pitching coach is DJ Carrasco. And true to form, Ballinger throws over to check on Mark. Kim got another pitch up, and visibly and audibly records his disapproval that he couldn't do something with that pitch.
Yeah, he did. He got Ballinger got away with the pitch up in the zone. That's what I said, just trying to find his location and his slot right now. Particularly, like you said, he's hitting in one in change at the moment. So got to find a way to either run the ball back on his hands or down in the zone.
Bollinger looking for his first strikeout. Again, a pickoff move. Pickoff move again, and Mark is at the very least garnering Bollinger's attention.
Two things that does, at least it keeps him tight and keeps the double play in order, and that's what he'd be trying to do right now.
Kim waits back on a breaking ball and hits the double play grounder. 4-6-3, double play. Nielsen to Wade to Sutherland, and the leadoff walk is erased, 2 down.
That's a good job by Bolly right there. He's obviously got the 2 pickoffs. We get a chance to see it here on the replay. And he pitches soft contact, just took a little bit of speed off the breaking ball and got him to roll over to second base. Good feed by Nielsen to Wade, and Wade fires across the diamond for the double play. So that's a big double play for Bolly because now it gets him out of trouble and allows him now to go back to his game plan.
Now Johnny Homza, the catcher for the Tuatara. Last year played for the Tri-City Dust Devils. Short season A ball in the San Diego Padres organization. First pitch fouled off. Ryan Bollinger was invited to spring training with the Padres this past year. Ultimately, as you mentioned, went over to Taiwan and had a good season. Down and in, and the count evens.
I like that pitch. It's down hard and in. It's getting him to move his feet. And once you get batters to start moving their feet, then you start to open up the outer half. And now can he be creative with his location and not worry so much about velo?
We'll see where the catcher Martinez sets up for this 1-1. Goes down in again, hits the target, but Hamza doesn't chase.
And you see his body language right there. He's not in command when he's sharp. So, but this is good. This gives him a chance early in this ball game as a starter to find himself. And like hitters, pitchers need at times to find their rhythm and their release points as well.
Hamza drafted out of high school in Anchorage, Alaska. Fouled off the foot, and the count 2-2.
And there was an example right there. He missed up in the zone, but he took velocity off that pitch. But because he shot him too hard in the inner half, he gets him out in front. Same thing he did to Kim in the last pitch. So rush him in hard, get him to start thinking about the inner half, and then you can throw a BP two-seamer away and get him to roll over.
Bollinger trying to bounce back and put up a 0 in the second. Hamza fouls off. I know that baseball is a favored sport in Alaska, but it is still unconventional to see someone make it to the professional ranks. There are obvious challenges to playing an outdoor sport up there near the Arctic Circle.
Well, it's funny, when I was going through the collegiate system, there was Cape Cod and the Alaskan League were the 2 big leagues.
No shortage of daylight up there. They played baseball, midnight?
24/7.
Grounded to short, ends the second inning, and Bollinger does indeed put up that 0. Bandits back to bat in the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Auckland.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. Get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
On to the bottom of the second inning at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. Bandits trailing the Tuatara by a score of 1-0. Bandits began the season with an 0-4 record. They've climbed back to an even 6-6. And right now in the Northeast Division, that's good enough for a tie for first place. The other team in first place, the Sydney Blue Sox, played host to the Bandits in round 3. Each team won a pair of ball games. That didn't settle much. Mitch Nielsen will lead things off. Switch hitting cleanup hitter. Takes the first pitch at the letters for a strike. Nielsen, Lutz, and Martinez, 4, 5, and 6 due up for Brisbane against Kyle Glogowski. Down and in, the count evens.
Talk about a hot season. Mitch started off extremely hot, and he's down at 372 clip at the moment, but swung the bat very well this year for the Bandits.
Breaking ball starts high but finds the top of the zone. Called strike 1 and 2.
And that's where we talk about that secondary pitch as a young arm. A lot of young arms will have the velocity, but can he establish that second and third pitch?
Nielsen chases, and that is a strikeout for out number 1 in the second. Nielsen looked back as if he thought he foul-tipped it, but the home plate umpire, Tom West, indicated that that was indeed a strike.
Once again, what I like about the young arm at this stage is really good rhythm. He's working quick, but he's working to his pace, so he's not allowing the hitter to dictate his pace. So see how Lutzy's now taking his time, saying he'll establish his pace now and see if he can slow down the righty.
Lutz, first pitch swinging, chops it into the shift. Second baseman Blackstone in shallow right field, fields and throws just in time to beat Lutz, who still runs pretty well. 2 up, 2 down quickly in the second.
Yeah, good job right there. Just ran that little two-seamer away from Lutz, and obviously if you make any mistakes middle in, he'll do damage, but just good job of just staying in the zone and working quick.
Jeremy Martinez, the catcher, will bat next. Martinez batting .267. 8 hits, 2 of them for extra bases, 1 left the yard. Turns away from an inside breaking ball that shaves the inside corner for a strike. Martinez, the catcher, just says, we'll put words in his mouth, as long as I'm getting it when I'm behind the plate.
Absolutely. That's exactly what he said. He said, Mr. West, as long as I get that one, I'm okay with that. Now he's got the one up in the zone now. So now he's got a battle 0-2 in this situation.
Glogowski's looked sharp, 5 up, 5 down with a pair of strikeouts, and he has Martinez in an 0-2 hole. Martinez takes up high.
Just looking at Martinez's background, a 4th-round pick with the St. Louis Cardinals in 2016, so this young man can play baseball.
Bounced in the dirt, well in front of the plate. Easy take for Martinez. Martinez last played organized baseball in 2018, splitting time between AA and AAA in the Cardinals organization. This past year, independent baseball with the St. Paul Saints, where he was teammates with lefty reliever Ken Frosch. The catcher's worked his way back from an 0-2 hole to a 3-2 count with Wade Dutton in the on-deck circle.
And this is a good at-bat, no matter what happens in the at-bat. If we go 0-2 and then work the count, then he's had a little chance to have a conversation with the umpire as well, and he'll establish his zone.
2-out walk, and the Bandits have their first base runner. Good eye by Martinez. And I'm not sure Martinez thought that there was a strike thrown in that entire at-bat.
Well, like I said, overall it's a good at-bat. He's now got a chance to see in his first at-bat, every pitch he's got a chance to see his breaking ball, fastball, so he's gauged. So for me as a hitter, if I get a chance to see everything in my first at-bat, when I do get men in scoring position, least I've had a chance to look at everything out of the hand.
Here's Wade Dutton, who figures to pick up at least some of the slack at third base in Mike Margima's absence. Dutton can play all around the infield and a little bit in the outfield, too. First pitch breaking ball taken low and away. 5 straight out of the zone for Kyle Glogoski. High and tight, another ball, and it's 2-0.
You see him laboring, and it's a good timeout by the catcher right there. Just picking up some sign with the young arm, just basically resettled him down back in the zone. Early on in the ballgame, he worked very quick. He worked to his pace, and all of a sudden after he got quick to 1-2, kind of just lost his rhythm.
Command issues began before Martinez was at first, but it should be noted that this is the first time Glogoski is pitching from the stretch position tonight. Hitters count for Wade Dutton. 2-0. Left up and hit right to the shortstop, in and out of the glove of Hernandez, and he has time to recover and force out Martinez at second base. Hit on the screws, too hard for Martinez to handle, but a nice recovery by the shortstop, and the Bandits can't do anything with the 2-out walk in the second. On to the third. It's 1-0 Auckland. You're watching Bandits.tv.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
Clouds are obscuring the sunset as darkness falls in Brisbane. Auckland Tuatara leading the Bandits by a score of 1-0 as we head to the top of the third inning. 9-1-2 due up for Auckland. It'll be Richards, Hernandez, and Blackstone against Ryan Ballinger. The only mistake made by the Bandits lefty, the 2-out solo home run hit by Josh Morgan in the first inning. It's the only run thus far in the ballgame. There is some weather to the north and south of us, but as long as it stays there, we'll be just fine. Weather in the forecast all weekend. This area so desperately needs rain. We'll take rain anytime between 10 o'clock tonight and 5 o'clock tomorrow. Does that sound good?
No, about 6:30 a.m. and then we need it to dry. But yeah, look, it was much needed rain yesterday, and I tell you what, there was a lot of people that were excited about that, even including ourselves as the organization, because the field was in dire need of a bit of water. But it's come up a treat, and great job by the crew today to get it ready to play.
Chris Richards, the right fielder, leads things off. Squares to bunt, drops it down, landing foul up the third base line, 0-1. This was my second year announcing Bandits games, and I do not believe I have ever seen that tarp rolled out down the left field line. Knock on wood.
I have. I've personally rolled it out on several occasions, so it's quite the treat.
You don't need to tell me about rolling out tarps. I've worked in minor league baseball. That tarp, it might not look like it, but it has some historical value to it. It was the tarp used at the Sydney Cricket Grounds when Major League Baseball held their opening day here back in 2014.
I think so were the foul poles as well, and I believe I think the pitching plate might have been commandeered from that game. A lot of history here.
Bandits have made some of their own in the time since. Swing and a miss. Good change of pace there from Ballinger, 1-2.
Yeah, look, what I like now, you start seeing him, and even his body language changing just as his confidence level. Look at the big boss in near the Destiny sign. So
breaking ball down and in, 2-2. Mark Reedy, the What's his title now? CEO Emeritus?
No, he's EO.
Executive
Officer in player welfare. Still owner, still principal owner. But just looking at everything, his arm action, just look, right there. So he wants that because he's executed his pitch. So now he's got to really just look at body language, and you'll probably see a little bit of discussion between catcher and umpire, particularly after his at bat, and that's when the chess game begins.
Bollinger with a look into the far distance as he was frustrated by the no call on that. Payoff pitch coming. Popped up. Right side of the infield. Sutherland in, makes the catch. Might have been ball 4. That was a jam shot by Richards, but Bollinger got the desired result, avoiding the walk and the leadoff base runner as the lineup now turns over for Yanni Hernandez.
Yeah, what he did really well, he down in the zone, hit his location, didn't get the pitch, but what I really liked, he maintained his composure, and he just took a little bit of speed off the next pitch to force the jam shot. So just good job of keeping and maintaining his composure.
Breaking ball for a strike. Hernandez with a comebacker to the pitcher to begin the ball game.
And you can see West seems to, on the off-speed pitches, a little bit generous on the upper part of the zone. So can he capitalize on that?
Almost hit Hernandez. Count evens.
And once again, that's as a hitter, when you got a guy that throws in the low 90, starts running the ball in on your hands, it forces guys to start cheating on the inner half.
Wow. Big swing and a miss. Hernandez not a home run hitter. Not even close. Has not homered in 3 games so far for the Tuatara, and in his minor league career he has 3 home runs and more than 1,300 at-bats. Swinging for the fences again. He was right on it, fouling it straight back. Hernandez this past season in America played 72 games for the Down East Wood Ducks in the Carolina League. And then for the Frisco Rough Riders, played 50 games at the AA level. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Bollinger comes on a high fastball. Hernandez down, that's out number 2. That'll leave it to Kent Blackstone.
Good pitch right there and good sequence. Really ran the ball on the inner half and then just elevated up out of the zone and got him to chase for out number 2. So once again, we talk about rhythms and comfort zone. Like I said, he looks a lot more confident here in inning number 3.
There's a strike. Blackstone, one of only 2 lefties in the lineup. This is a righty-heavy Tuatara roster, at least on the position player side. Check swing, didn't miss by much.
Like I said, you can see now where his misses are tight, and now he's starting to get command of his pitches and where he wants to locate. Tough day at the office for a lefty, because if you look at his arm slot, it's basically coming out of your left or your right ear hole.
Hit high in the air, deep to left field. It sends Campbell to the warning track, but he camps under it and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Bollinger, retiring the Tuatara in order for the first time tonight. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 1-0 Auckland on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Thank you, Archer!
baby.
Thank you, Archer! Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
One 1-0 Tuatara as we head to the bottom of the third in Brisbane. You might see there the RC patch on the right chest of all the Auckland players. That is in memory of their teammate Ryan Costello, who passed away tragically and unexpectedly just before the season started. Costello in the Minnesota Twins organization was over across the ocean to play for the Tuatara, but never got a chance, dying of natural causes just days before the season started. A real tragedy, and I can't imagine what that would be like for the players or the coaches to have to deal with that, and also to have to continue to play your season and keep focused on your goal. Here's David Sutherland. High drive, deep right field. This ball is gone! Tie ball game, one apiece, as David Sutherland sends it out. Sutherland's first of the year. And there was no doubt about it.
Chance to really look at this pitch right here. He missed middle end, and David Sutherland absolutely crushed that baseball. Now we got a 1-1 ball game here in the third. And once again, like I said, the young man struggled a little bit in the zone last inning, made a mistake, and that's the first mistake of the night.
Here's Daniel Nielsen taking on the inside corner. Nielsen, the DH tonight, playing in just his third game this season. He's 1 for 7 at the plate. Cracked foul 0-2. David Sutherland 2 weeks ago celebrated his 300th career game played in the ABL, a milestone that we expect Andrew Campbell to reach if he plays all 4 games here in round 4. Swing and a miss. Nielsen gone on 3 pitches, and Glogoski bounces back after the home run with a 3-pitch strikeout.
Yeah, really good job right there. And like I said, he location was probably where he wanted first pitch. Sutherland did a good job of squaring it up and shooting it deep into right field. But a good job by the young righty to come back for out number 1.
Lineup turns over for Andrew Campbell. Left fielder popped out to short his first time up and sends the first pitch foul here in the third. Glogoski's next, misses outside.
And this will be interesting with the young righty on the bump. His second time around the lineup. Guys have chance of seeing his primary, secondary pitches. Now it's about making adjustments. Good off-speed pitch right there.
Based on the strike call from Tom West, we'll assume that was a strike anyway. Campbell checked his swing and I think held up from our angle. One-two from Glogoski. Pounded off the dirt in front of the plate, fielded by the second baseman Blackstone, and Campbell is retired for out number 2. With one glaring exception, the Sutherland home run on a pitch that was left up, Glogoski has been able to get ground balls with his stuff.
Yeah, look, one thing, like I said, I noticed, his tempo's been fantastic. He's controlled the tempo of the game on the mound. Location's been solid, good velocity tonight, but that secondary pitch, which appears to be a changeup, is really what's keeping the hitters a little bit off balance, so they can't sit on one pitch. And that's what's going to make him effective, enable to him to get to Double-A next year.
Logan Wade struck out looking his first time up. I think it was that pitch that got him, and he stares at it again for strike 1 in his second turn at bat. He waits back and sends a high, deep drive into right field. There's another home run. Logan Wade makes it a 2-1 Bandits lead. Sutherland and now Wade going deep over the right field wall. Went down looking on a 2-strike pitch in the first. He made sure that would not happen here in the third.
Yeah, look at that. Looks like that changeup. It looks like he just sat back on that and shot that in a line drive over right field. Now we got a 2-1 ball game. So location was good, but he may have been sitting off speed right there and able to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Bandits have now hit 11 home runs on the season. 9 of them have come here at home. Tim Caldwell squares to bunt, pulls back, and takes ball 1.
And that's where it can rattle a young guy. So he actually made good pitch, good location. When you get a veteran guy that maybe sits and all of a sudden sits on something, they can actually do some damage when your veteran type hitter starts sitting on pitches.
Caldwell late. Looked like he tried to check his swing, but it was far too late, 1-1.
And that's where I'm talking about that in between. It just maybe looking off speed, all of a sudden realized he got a fastball right there. So they're still making adjustments here in the third.
Caldwell pounds it off his front foot. And the count is 1-2. Well, in the case of the Wade home run, that was on a breaking ball. And it appeared that his hips flew open, but he kept his hands and his weight back. And as a result, he was still able to get some power on the swing.
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, it's not releasing too early where you start seeing an early release and then that top hand rolls and then you get the ground ball. He stayed through the hitting zone and able to hit the ball out on a line to right field. So probably another ballpark, still a double here. Let's all touch them all.
Caldwell just got a piece of the breaking ball in the dirt.
I think you did mention in the early part of the piece, wind was blowing slightly to right, about 18 kilometers an hour. So you got a little bit of the advantage of the wind as well.
Wind is almost always blowing out to right field here, just the way that the buildings and the meteorological patterns around this ballpark tend to send it. 1-2. Caldwell swings and misses. It's in the dirt. It'll require a throw. Hamza fires down to first, and Caldwell is retired on the strikeout for out number 3. But the Bandits go deep twice. Sutherland and Wade with solo shots. Brisbane suddenly has a 2-1 lead as we go to the 4th on Bandits.tv. Taking off overseas this year, you wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operates the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable, and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines' 5-star award-winning service levels. So wherever you are heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see. Every run so far tonight has scored via the home run. And as we head to the top of the 4th inning, the Bandits hold a 2-1 lead over the Auckland Tuatara. Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Game 1 of round 4 here at One Hump Stadium. We will have Game 2 tomorrow night and then a doubleheader on Saturday. The Bandits looking to remain undefeated in their home ballpark and get above 500 for the first time this season. If the Bandits can get through the next 2 weeks, the schedule really plays to their favor around the holidays.
Yeah.
In between Christmas and New Year's, they have a home series against Melbourne. Last year they were on the road during the holidays, and for more reasons than I can even describe, that can take a toll on the players. Ball misses low to Josh Morgan, who took Ballinger deep in the first inning.
And that would have been new for you. I mean, that would have been your first Christmas away, where the temperature was 40.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't mind it all that much. But for the players, you know, it's right around the midpoint of the season and when fatigue starts to set in.
Well, even missing home, you miss your football games and you miss, you know, Thanksgiving and those emotions. And that's what the Bandits organization done a really good job of, keeping these guys engaged and giving them time off to allow them to recover mentally and still connect. And then obviously once it comes down to game time, these guys go to business and it's all work.
Foul tip and the count 1-2. Morgan, Walker, and Brown, the heart of the Tuatara order, due up. Even the local guys last year had right after Christmas to go down to Sydney for 4 days and then came back for New Year's. It's not exactly the holiday break that you look for. Popped up into shallow center, long run in for Caldwell. He calls and catches out number 1. But back to this year's schedule, the Bandits will be home in between Christmas and New Year's. They go out then to Perth in their first January series, but then are home for 2 consecutive weeks. We just learned in the past week that there will not be a contested tournament preventing the Australian national team from playing in the Olympic qualifier. There was a concern that that might interrupt the ABL season, but that will not be the case. And so the Bandits will play 3 home series over the course of 4 rounds, right at the time in the season when you want to make your move.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's a good schedule. And David this is where he's brilliant. It's a chess game for him, and it's making sure his athletes are ready and they're at their peak when it comes down to the business end of the season. You know, right now, guys are still making adjustments, but they're still playing good, consistent baseball.
Jared Walker drew a walk his first time up, one of 2 free passes issued by Ballinger so far tonight. How about that crowd mic, man? Bandits.tv, we can hear Jared Walker drumming on his bat after the pitch. Off the very end of the bat, squirted towards third, charging is Dutton. He throws on target and on time to retire Walker for out number 2. The only hit allowed by Ballinger was that Morgan home run in the first. He's
Get a
retired
chance to
7
see
straight.
this play, particularly off a lefty. Wade did a really good job of staying with it and obviously squaring up and firing over to first. And it's always nice to have the sure hands of Sutherland at first base. But good job, because that ball would have a lot of spin, particularly coming off the left-handed bat.
Here's Max Brown. Center fielder grounded to third to end the first inning. And he takes down and in. As I said, 7 straight retired by Ballinger. Line suddenly doesn't look all that bad despite his early struggles.
Yeah, and like I said, like hitters, you know, sometimes a couple at bats just to kind of feel the swing, and all of a sudden you make your adjustments and you finish up 2 for 4 with 2 doubles.
Kookaburras?
It's hard to see. No, I don't think so. No, they're too small.
Yeah.
Too small.
Called strike, it's 1-2. We have seen some kookaburras around the field.
Yeah, normally they'll come out, particularly with the lights, and then when the moths in the summer are starting to fly, it makes for good feed. So they come out here and get a bit of a feed.
Sometimes they mark their territory in the parking lot too. Ballinger with a 1-2. Jumped foul at the third base line. 1 strikeout for Ballinger. Had a chance to sit down with Ryan last year and do an interview with him, and this was at a point when he was still in the bullpen. Last year, a similar evolution for his season, beginning in relief and then going to a starting role. He tells me that he's max effort every single pitch. You believe it looking at him. Check swing on appeal. No swing. Brown's still alive. The count is 2-2.
Well, when he came up through the system, I know as a youngster he was a left-handed flamethrower. So, you know, in essence, you know, once again a big, tall lefty that threw the baseball hard, and he's slowly starting to reinvent himself, and now he's got command of 4 or 5 different pitches, and that's what allowed him to elevate in his career.
Just beneath the knees. And the count runs full. Andrew Mark on deck. The generational flamethrowers, I'm talking your Nolan Ryans, your Justin Verlanders, they can sit comfortably in the low 90s in the early innings and then save a little extra when they need it. Ballinger tells me that he throws as hard as he can, as often as he can. 2-out walk here to Brown will extend the top of the 4th.
And it's true. I was when I was with the San Diego Padres, I got traded over to the White Sox and actually got sent from AAA to A-ball, and I'm like, what am I doing here? And the first right-handed pitcher I faced was Cleveland. It was named Bartolo Colon. And they said, mate, this guy throws hard. And I said, look, I faced Pedro Martinez, Chan Ho Park. You know, I've seen hard. And I watched Cologne start off about 92 and finish about 97 by the 7th. So he's a guy that's built momentum as he chugged along.
Before the first pitch to Mark, a check of the runner, and Brown dives in safely. Well, speaking of Bartolo Colon, just today I saw on Twitter that he's still throwing. He's still rolling it down in the Dominican Republic. Last pitched in 2018 for the Texas Rangers, but if there is a team that wants him, he'll still be willing to pitch in his mid-40s now. We'll call him rotund.
Yes. But you know what? He still competes at a high level, and you even see him defensively. He shows how athletic he is as a pitcher. I was fortunate enough to play with Fernando Venezuela later in his career when I was playing in the Mexican League. He was a 2-handicapper in golf. If you told him to play first base, he wouldn't miss anything. And he picked up the bat in his last game, and I think he went 2 for 3 and could still swing the bat, in the back end of his career as a former, all-star pitcher.
Appearances can be deceiving. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Pitch left up, and Mark was trying to send it over the fence. For the first time, we see some action in the Bandits' pen. That looks to me like Corey Taylor. Down and in, the count 2-1.
Just trying to see if I can get a pitch count. Just seeing, we talked about how deep David would allow him to go before he started looking at change. But David will look at a lot of things too. He'll look at body language. He'll still look at velocity, and he'll gauge with his catcher whether he's still got what he needs.
Bollinger steps off, and that forces Brown back to the bag. Brown 2 for 2 in stolen bases this year.
Good pitch.
Breaking ball gets Mark out in front. He tried to stay back as long as he could, but still couldn't connect. 2-2.
And that's what blew a couple fastballs by him and elevated fastball, and then just shows that third or fourth pitch in his arsenal where it just takes a little bit of speed off it.
That might not have been a pitch that Mark saw in his first at bat.
Correct. And that's why I said for me, facing young arms, I didn't mind if they showed me everything in the tackle box early, because then in the business end, when I had men on second and third, there was nothing there to trick me with.
Bollinger 1 strike away from putting up another 0 and preserving the Bandits' lead. Mark frozen, but it was just inside. Count runs full. That'll give Brown a head start with Kim Won-silk waiting on deck. Bollinger, I think it's safe to say, runs pretty hot anyway, but he's been unhappy with the strike zone tonight.
Yeah, he's a competitor, and you wouldn't take that away from anybody that's pitched at a high level.
Mark might have chased ball 4. A high fastball gets him, and the 2-out walk is left aboard as Bollinger puts up a 0 in the top of the 4th inning. Onto the home half, Bandits up by 1 on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
The homer-happy Brisbane Bandits have a 2-1 lead over the Auckland Tuatara as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Bandits. Nielsen, Lutz, and Martinez against Kyle Glagoski. Glagoski pitched a nearly spotless first 2 innings before allowing a home run to David Sutherland to lead off the third, and then a 2-out homer to Logan Wade. Nielsen, first pitch swinging, lifts foul out of play, third base side.
You look at both arms tonight. It's in the fourth inning. Wind blowing out to right, still 2-1. So both arms have done a brilliant job, and solos don't beat you. And they've kept guys off base. They've eliminated the walk. And like I said, the pitches they've made were mistakes, but really no real damage. Still have a very tight ball game here.
Nielsen takes up and away 1-2. Mitch struck out swinging his first time up.
As you mentioned, it looks like they are heating up in the Bandits bullpen, so it'll be interesting to see if David goes.
5th strikeout already for Kyle Glagoski, second time that he's gotten Nielsen, and it's out number 1 in the 4th.
Once again, another really good pitch down in the strike zone. It looks like whether it's his two-seamer or his changeup, it's really just got the hitters out in front. So obviously a live fastball and really showing good command of that second pitch.
First pitch at the knees, a strike to Donald Lutz, who looks back at Tom West in disapproval. And this is what it feels like when doves cry. You've got Lutz, who we're used to seeing with a mustache, and Tom West, who we're used to seeing with a mustache. Both of them have shaved it off as we move from November to December.
That's it.
Taken upstairs, they count 2-1. I'm used to Lutz with at least some facial hair.
Yeah, no, it is a new look. I saw Tom before the game as well without the big mo, and he looked 10 years younger.
3-1 now to Lutz, who grounded to second into the shift his first time up. They're the Outlaws. Big swing and a miss. And the count runs full. The Outlaws usually grow in number as the series goes along. It's a Thursday. Some folks have to work. By tomorrow night, there will be many more of them as Lutz goes down swinging. Strikeout number 6 for Kyle Glagoski, and the third in a row going back to the third inning.
Yeah, once again, another good pitch, good location. Looked like just a good two-seamer away, and Lutz wasn't able to come up with it. So 2 big outs, 2 quick outs for the Bandits.
Jeremy Martinez was the first Bandits base runner, drawing a 2-out walk in the second inning. He'll try here to extend the inning by getting on base or circling them. Here's a high fly in the air to deep right center field. Going back is Brown. At the wall, it's gone! The third solo home run of the night for the Bandits, and it's a 3-1 lead in the 4th. Second of the season for the Bandits catcher. Lifting it up and out.
Get a chance to see this in the replay, and he looked like he hung an off-speed pitch, breaking ball up in the zone, and early on first at bat, started him off with 2 breaking balls, so it looks like he sat on something up in the zone and hit that power alley in right center, and now we got a 3-1 ball game. We're in the 4th inning.
Wade Dutton up next. Grounded into a fielder's choice at short to end the second. Check swing, it's a fair ball. Springing up in front of the plate is the catcher Hamza, and he throws on to first. Takes 1 pitch to retire Dutton, but out number 3 comes a pitch too late. Jeremy Martinez extends the Bandits' lead with a solo home run. It's 3-1 going to the 5th on Bandits.tv.
How good is this?
On to the top of the 5th inning, Bandits leading Auckland 3-1, and David Nielsen goes to the bullpen. Ryan Ballinger done after 4 good innings. He did not pitch deep enough into the game to qualify for the win, but after allowing the solo home run to Josh Morgan in the first, he went hitless the rest of the way. He gives way to Corey Taylor, coming out of the bullpen for the first time this year. We mentioned at the outset that Ballinger took the place in the rotation of Taylor, but it's not because Taylor wasn't pitching well. In fact, numbers-wise, he might have been the most dominant starter the last couple weeks.
Oh, he threw brilliant in Sydney. He was lights out, and command was there, velocity was there, and I think he only conceded the 1 hit on the day. So, brilliant job for the Bandits in Sydney, and that's what David has. He has so much flexibility to be able to rotate arms and give different looks, and obviously with the Bandits hitting 3 solo shots, it puts him in a 3-1 comfortable lead here in the 5th.
On the season, Taylor has 2 wins and a loss with an ERA of 3.52. The most impressive number for him, the opponent's batting average, 127, with only 7 hits in 15 1/3 innings.
And that's what you want. I mean, especially when you see guys that adjusting to a new ball club, and he's settled in very quickly for the Bandits. And once this offense starts to produce, he's going to be a tough guy to take on in that rotation.
An atypical line for Ballinger, but not ineffective in the least. Ballinger with 4 innings, 1 run on 1 hit, the Morgan home run, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts for the lefty. By the time he next takes the mound, presumably in round 5, he'll be stretched out just a little bit longer and maybe can get through 5 or 6 innings.
And this is where you see how David managed this ball club. This is, Bolly won't be in a position for a win. He comes out in the 4th inning, but this shows that David is about team win, and Bolly knows he's done his job. He's got his work in, and he's building his pitch count to be ready for his next start.
Kim Won-seok, the left fielder, wrapped into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. Fouls out of the mid of the catcher, Martinez, and the count is quickly 0-2. Taylor last pitched last weekend in Sydney. Taken low, the count 1-2. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts for the righty out of Laredo, Texas. Swing and a miss. In the dirt, the tag completes the strikeout, and Taylor announces his arrival with a flourish, an opening K of Kim Won-seok. Taylor joined me here in the broadcast booth a couple weeks ago, and had a chance to get into his mind a little bit. This is his first time ever playing winter ball, and I know that's something that you went through in terms of adjusting to playing year-round. Many players who are in the affiliated development system are used to resting their body and relaxing these months out of the year.
And it's a mindset. And I'll tell you, mine was kind of tricky. I went Australian League, and then the next year I went Arizona Fall League. So you went from a 4-game weekend type schedule, which is very much like your collegiate schedule, and then all of a sudden you went back to the Arizona Fall League, where it was like almost a
Hamza with a deep drive, right center field, and deep into the night and gone. Solo home run for the Tuatara catcher brings the deficit for Auckland to just a run. It's now 3-2 with all 5 runs coming around on solo shots.
I'll tell you what, he absolutely crushed that baseball. The ball's down in the zone, but he absolutely annihilated that into right center. We get a chance to see the replay. See, location is down and away. Just did a good job of staying through the baseball. I said pitchers haven't made many mistakes because no walks, but both teams have been able to put a charge in the baseball tonight.
Elevation wasn't bad. It was knee-high. It just had too much of the plate.
Absolutely. And like I said, he stayed through the baseball well and utilized that part of the field.
Chris Richards popped out to first his first time up. Right fielder bats at the bottom of the Auckland lineup, and And he swings and misses 1-1.
That's one thing Jim Bennett's done really well with the Bandits is not worry about size of field, just worry about execution of pitches. And that has to be your primary focus. Even if you make a good pitch, you could get beat, but don't change your game plan.
Called strike, it's 1-2. Bennett is the man responsible for Corey Taylor being here in Brisbane. Corey played with Jim's son TJ, who Bandits fans know well. Led the league in home runs last year when they were both in the minor leagues together. Down and away 2-2.
And that helps with adjustments, particularly when there's that familiarity, when there's a coach or a person on the team. It does help you to adjust and acclimate. Sometimes you go into winter ball competition and you don't know anybody, and it's a total adjustment for athletes.
2-2. Chop to first. Second hop is waist high for Sutherland, and Taylor covers to retire Richards for out number 2. Lineup turns over for the leadoff man, Yanni Hernandez.
I like what I see from Tuatara this year. They've got a really good balance, a bit of speed, a bit of youth, and if their arms can just keep them in the ball game, they'll have the ability to manufacture runs. It's a long season. It's just about staying positive on what they want to do and how they execute.
Hernandez, a switch hitter, gets a chance to bat left-handed with the righty, now in the game in relief of Ballinger. First pitch, a swinging strike 1. Bunted in the air, foul towards third, and it lands in front of Dutton. Quickly 2 strikes. I'm excited to see the new Auckland facility. I hope I am able to make that trip round 10, but regardless of whether or not I'm on that trip, the Bandits will end their regular season against these Tuatara. Swing and a miss, and that does it for Auckland in the top of the 5th inning. They get a run back on a solo home run from Johnny Hamza. We're halfway home. It's 3-2 Brisbane on Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. Get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
Bandits are a perfect 4-0 at home so far this season. They have a 1-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th in the round 4 opener against Auckland. The faces and names change, but by and large, this is the same Bandits team that won their first ABL championship 5 years ago. They've won the last 4, and if the season ended today, they would be playoff bound once again. David Sutherland went deep for his first home run of the year, his first time up, and he takes ball 1.
I think I've heard a few interviews, some of the players this year, and they talk about some of the pressures obviously as well, but I think they thrive in that space. Speaking to a couple of the veteran guys, they said they feel that they can win every ball game they're in, even if they're down. So that's the mindset you want, and that's really established by the culture in that clubhouse.
Hitters count to Sutherland, and he takes a strike, but it wasn't his strike. The count now 2-1. You can afford to be selective on 2-0. You're looking for a pitch to drive, but that clearly wasn't it. That might have been, but Sutherland took it anyway, 2-2.
Yeah, and sometimes the guy might be looking in right there, just kind of tricks himself. He might be saying, not going to challenge me. I hit a home run on a fastball, and the young right-hander went ahead and said, I'm going to challenge you.
Missing wide. The count runs full, and Sutherland has not lifted the bat off his shoulder. Daniel Nielsen waits on deck. Payoff pitch found straight back. Sutherland swung for the first time, and he was right on it.
What's funny, catcher actually threw down a crooked finger, like a changeup or an off-speed pitch, and he shook him to go back to the two-seamer, and Sutherland was sitting on it. So see if he mixes this up. I'm trying to peek. Changeup.
Sutherland out in front. Grounds it to the right side. Almost beats the shift.
He's off.
Out by a half a step as the pitcher Glogowski came to cover. We had the angle that the base umpire didn't. You thought that Glogowski's right foot was off the bag.
I did, but I've got a better angle than he does. So no, it's not a reflection on him. His angle's a lot tougher than mine. It looked like he peeled him off the bag a little bit, but obviously the throw beat him for out number one. Once again, a young pitcher right there in that situation. Normally an A-ball guy will go 3-2, automatic fastball, wiggle right there and through the off-speed pitch to get him to roll over for out number one.
Got by the first baseman Walker. Blackstone was right there in the shift, but credit where it's due. David Sutherland, hustling out of the box, almost beat out an infield single.
And that becomes the big equalizer. So to succeed at higher levels, you have to have that secondary. Looks like he's learning to master that changeup. Velocity's good, two-seamer away, and then now he's got the command of the changeup. Just keeps hitters off balance.
Daniel Nielsen pulls back a bunt for ball one. The Bandits DH struck out his first time and takes another ball 2-0. And Glogowski now upset about the strike zone as he kicks the rosin bag back. Breaking ball on 2-0.
Yeah, changeup. I'm just looking at it's a four wiggle, so obviously a change piece. So once again, being confident you can throw it behind the count.
Nielsen shatters his bat, sends it into shallow right field. Coming on is Richards. He makes the catch. You don't see nearly as many broken bats as you used to. That's because the quality of the lumber has gone up, but Nielsen got sawed off. Let's take another look.
Yeah, just sped him up. So he, obviously good 2-0 fastball. I mean, and he ran a two-seamer away, just hit it off the end of the bat, try to hook him to right, and lost the bat. And sometimes they may be even hairline fractures in the internal of the bat, so you don't see it externally, but there might be something internally.
Dan can take that sword to battle. Lineup turns over for Campbell, who takes low and away. Called strike. The man they call Soupy is 0 for 2 with a pop-up to short and a grounder to second.
And we're in the fifth. It's been an exciting ball game because we've seen 5 big swings of the bats and 5 home runs, and really outside of that, not much offense.
We have seen not only all of the runs coming on home runs, all of the hits have been home runs. 5 hits in the game, they're all solo shots.
Well, they do say fans want to see home runs and strikeouts, and we've seen that today.
Yes, we have. 4 strikeouts for the Tuatara at the plate. Glogowski has fanned 6 through 4 2/3. He has a 2-strike count to the Bandits' leadoff man. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7. And that is a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Kyle Glogowski. We're through 5 in Brisbane. Bandits on top 3-2 on Bandits.tv.
made us.
That's a full moon tonight in Brisbane. 3-2 Bandits on top of the Auckland Tuatara as we go to the top of the 6th inning. It's turned into a pretty nice night with some weather concerns the last 24 hours. We will take this for the rest of the season. Scoreboard doesn't look too bad either. Bandits holding on to a 1-0 lead. We've seen 5 hits in the game, and they have all been solo home runs. Corey Taylor on for his second inning of relief work. Ryan Bollinger went the first 4. For Auckland, the home runs came from Josh Morgan in the first and Johnny Hamza in the 5th. Bandits got homers from Sutherland and Wade in the 3rd, and then Jeremy Martinez went deep with 2 outs in the 4th. In inning number 6, it'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the Tuatara order: Blackstone, Morgan, and Walker.
That shot of the moon was pretty stunning. I'll tell you what, it is a full moon compared to last night, about probably an hour later than this, and it was bucketing down. Much needed rain, but cooled everything else for a while as well.
Two and 0 quick lead to Kent Blackstone, 0 for 2 with a pair of flies to deep left field. Last night would have been a waxing gibbous moon. Blackstone with the chopper to second. Fielded on a couple hops by Nielsen. He throws to first. Blackstone retired for out number 1 in the 6th inning. Are you familiar with the phases of the moon?
You have to educate me on that one.
We've got a gibbous moon, which is more than a half moon. A crescent moon.
Yep.
You know, you can picture a crescent moon.
I've got that.
But if it is getting bigger, approaching a full moon, it is waxing. And if it's getting smaller, closer to a new moon, it's waning.
You did that in uni, didn't you?
I think that was actually primary school.
Primary school.
Called strike, begins the at-bat to Josh Morgan.
And you remembered that.
Morgan 1 for 2 with a solo homer in the first. It's the sort of stuff that's good to know.
It is, absolutely.
Down and maybe a little bit away as well.
Unless you watch Wallace and Gromit.
Moon's made of cheese. Yeah. That's a deep cut. Taylor working from the wind. Ooh. Swing and a miss. Morgan tried to tie up the game with one swing.
I'll tell you what, you look at his stuff and you see why he was so tough in Sydney. You know, everything down and hard in the zone. Last time he had a strikeout in the inning before, really sharp downward action on his breaking ball. Like that.
Just like that. Skips off the plate and Morgan doesn't bite.
But built like a Texas pitcher. I think they're all 6'3", 6'4", and throw hard.
You would know.
I do.
You're from the Lone Star State yourself.
There was a guy there named Clemens. He used to throw hard. Came from UT.
First hop was in foul territory, but it chops fair, and Sutherland picks it up, goes to the bag. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th inning.
I think Kershaw's he's a Highland Park kid out of Dallas.
Yep.
As well.
Oh, hey again.
I'm talking about the challenges of playing baseball in Alaska, where Jonathan Hamza comes from. Texas is the opposite. You can play baseball just about year-round down there.
Yeah, you can, and that's pros and cons. I mean, big, obviously gridiron or football state as well, so normally you see big crossover there between guys play football in the winter and switch over to baseball, but I think now it's getting harder as these guys are getting bigger and they're hitting harder, and you got to protect your shoulders and your back.
Ooh, might have cracked his bat. Right back to Taylor. He fires on to first, and Corey Taylor has a quick 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning. Bandits holding a 3-2 lead as we go to the home half on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Yeah!
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be.
Thank you, Archer. Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
Bandits up 3-2 over the Auckland Tuatara as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And for the first time tonight, manager Steve Mintz goes to the Tuatara bullpen. Kyohei Muranaka, the native of Japan, comes on in relief of Kyle Glogowski, who right now is on the hook for the loss, but like the theme tonight, just made a couple bad pitches. He allowed 3 hits, and they were all solo home runs. 5 innings, 3 runs on 3 hits for the righty, 7 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. Muranaka, making his second appearance, will try and keep it a 1-run deficit. In his first appearance, he allowed 1 run in an inning and a third. He'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Bandits' order.
Actually, his lines were really good tonight, and I really liked what I saw. Command of 3 of his pitches. His changeup looked outstanding, and a lot of life and late life on his fastball tonight. So, with the exception of the 3 mistakes, he pitched an outstanding ball game.
Muranaka, 32 years old. Long career with the Yakult Swallows in the Japan Central League. Ooh. First pitch hits Logan Wade, turned around batting from the right side. He springs up and appears to be okay, and the Bandits breathe a sigh of relief. Let's take another look at where that got the Brisbane shortstop.
It just right it. He's
underneath the left kneecap.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Wow. He's tough. He football background before he converted full-time to baseball, so you won't see him rub it, and he'll play this thing out. But yeah, you talk about tiny ballparks. That played small, and I think they've changed the ballpark back then, but it was playing about 380, 390 back in the day. So he's learned to have to keep the ball down in the zone.
Muranaka first played for Yakult in 2006 when he was 18 years old.
Wow.
First pitch down and away to Tim Caldwell, 0 for 2 with a grounder to short and a strikeout. At the knees, outside corner for a strike. No action in the Brisbane pen. That is unsurprising, but it bears mentioning. It is possible that Corey Taylor might go the distance tonight. He is stretched out like a starter, and he's certainly been effective enough, allowing just the solo home run to Johnny Hamza in his first 2 innings of work. Down and in, 2-1. Far be it for me to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of this Bandits team, but I think the more they can stay away from using the bullpen early in a series, the better off they'll be. That can be said of any team.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of them are used to going deep in ball games. But like I said, pitch count's been fairly low, and he's thrown the ball extremely well tonight. So, and we've got perfect conditions. It's not too cold here. We've been very fortunate with good weather.
Wade, hobbled by the hit by pitch, still warrants a throw at first. Logan can steal a base if he's left unattended. 3 for 3 in swipes so far this year. Again, a throw over from the lefty.
And if anything right there, just keeping him tight, it also keeps that double play in order. Turned out to be big early in the ball game, getting double play, but just keeping that runner and that lead short.
Caldwell takes outside, 3-1. Mitch Nielsen on deck. Caldwell's stats don't reflect how hard he's hit the ball so far this season. He did have 3 multi-hit games in the Sydney series, but he's been swinging the bat well, getting on base and doing a fine job in the field. Pitch left up, hit high and deep to left center. Going back is Brown.
Wow.
Up against the wall, he makes the catch. Throw back into the cut as Wade retreats to first. Colwell gave it a ride, but Brown tracked it down. Playing this unfamiliar, unique outfield, he timed it perfectly.
I tell you what, Brown did a good job. He ran it down, found the fence right here. You can just see it in a creeping, able to make a good play and come up firing to first base for out number 1. It's a big out for Tuatara, but good job by Brown in center field.
That's a chain link fence behind the batter's eye material. So a little bit of give, but we don't want to make it sound like that was a comfortable ride for him.
Not at all.
Here's Mitch Nielsen, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. First pitch, runner goes, Wade down to second, and the throw is right on target. Wade looked like he got a good jump, but the throw from Hamza behind the plate was even better.
Yeah, really good job by the catcher. You see it again. Really good jump. He went first move on a swing, but absolutely threw a bullet to second base and good quick tag for out number 2.
Just the second time in 14 tries the Bandits have been caught stealing this year. That success rate is pretty good and explains why they've tried it so many times. Quickly 0-2 now to Mitch Nielsen with suddenly 2 outs and the base is empty. Nielsen, like Wade to lead off the inning, is turned around to bat from the right side with a lefty now in the game for Auckland. Nielsen chops it foul. Muranaka again with an 0-2 that just missed the outside corner. Mitch Nielsen has a very good eye at the plate, and that can get you through some rough stretches when you aren't swinging the bat well. Pounded foul. Nielsen has struck out twice tonight, but if you fight off tough pitches and take the ones that are just outside the zone, you might get a pitch that you can do something with.
Well, that's it. And if even fighting off tough pitches, right now just keeping the at-bat alive to hopefully get a mistake up in the zone.
Nielsen with a comebacker right to Muranaka. Underhand toss to first. Leadoff hit batsman is erased on a caught stealing, and Muranaka faces only 3 men in a scoreless bottom of the 6th. We're already on to the 7th in Brisbane. 3-2 Bandits on top on Bandits.tv. Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operates the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable, and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines' 5-star award-winning service levels. So wherever you are heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
Yeah, right? Luckily I'm tall.
It's 3-2 Bandits over the Tuatara as we head to the top of the 7th inning in the round 4 opener at One Hub Stadium. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Thanks for joining us tonight. Not a whole lot of action. You wouldn't know it by hearing the Outlaws making just as much noise as they do any other night.
You gotta love them. Tell you what.
We have 5 total hits in this game, and all of them have been solo home runs. The Bandits have the edge, 3 home runs to 2. Corey Taylor is out for his 3rd inning of relief in what might be a very long relief effort. Stretched out like a starter, the Bandits have 9 more outs to get. Max Brown will lead things off. He's 0 for 1 with a walk his last time up. Brown thinks about a bunt, but pulls back and takes ball 1. Mention that Corey Taylor is from Laredo, Texas, just north of the border of the Rio Grande. Swing and a miss. The count is even 1-1.
Throws hard. I'm just looking at, good 4-seamer, good 2-seamer, and then he's got a big, hard, tight breaking ball as well.
Missing down. You can miss down here in this ballpark. You just don't want to miss up.
No, you don't. And if you do, it's got to be up and elevate and get guys chasing balls out of the strike zone. But we have seen if you make pitches in the no-go zone, they go a long ways.
Just missing. There have been plenty of walks tonight. Ryan Bollinger walked 3 in his 4-inning start. Hit hard to third, bobbled by Dutton, but he's up with a throw across the diamond to retire Brown, out number 1.
Get a chance to see this again. Ball's actually hit really hard, but good job by Dutton to stay with it and regroups and makes a good throw and follows his throw and a strike to first base for out number 1. But just really good job of staying with it. And that's what makes him so valuable, is his ability to play any position on the field and gives David so much as far as options defensively.
There's Andrew Mark, who takes inside ball 1. Mark hasn't put the ball in play yet tonight. A walk in the 2nd and a strikeout in the 4th. Check swing, on appeal, Mark held up, and the count is 2-0. With a 1-run game, every call is life or death, or so it seems down at field level. Mark ready to rip on 2-0, sent it straight back.
And really the big difference is all of a sudden you're pitching to a 2-0 count and a 1-1 count. So it's a big difference, particularly at this ballpark. You make a mistake, we talk about up in the zone, and all of a sudden it's a tie ball game.
Mark fouls it back. Hopefully our crowd mic survived, and the count 2-2. That sounded crunchy, didn't it?
That was crunchy.
Taylor has 2 strikeouts, looking for number 3 here. Taken down, the count runs full. One side effect of the Bandits moving Ryan Bollinger to the rotation, they have only 1 lefty reliever, that's Ken Frosch. Called, strike 3. Mark thought it was ball 4, but Tom West had other ideas. When you hit your target, more often than not, you're going to get that call.
Yeah, good pitch right there, just on the outer half, and obviously looking off the plate, and out number 2. So that's a big out for the Bandits here in the 7th.
Kim Won-suk will bat next. Not sure if the Bandits will really need a lefty specialist to face more than one batter.
Ooh.
First pitch up the middle, and we have our first non-homer hit.
Wow.
What a world. Kim right back up the gut, skipping up the mound, and now Johnny Hamza will bat. He went deep his last time up, and he has a chance to do some damage here with the tying run now at first base. Kim is 1 for 2 in stolen bases, and thinking the same thing, Taylor sends the ball over on a pickoff attempt. First pitch at the knees for a strike.
I think he just caught him off guard right there because he sat on that pitch first at bat, and he probably says no way, he throws it again. And when we, same thing, just talk about sticking to your game plan and trusting your game plan.
Taylor again fires onto first. The Bandits' de facto closer is the ABL's modern saves leader, Ryan Searle. We might see him finish this one off, or if Taylor continues to pitch well. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second. Another perfect throw. Out number 3 comes on the bases as Martinez guns down Kim. It's stretch time in Brisbane, and the Bandits still lead it by a score of 3-2.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
The fans in Brisbane sing Sweet Caroline, and the Bandits lead 3-2 over the Auckland Tuatara as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Not a bad crowd tonight. It is Thursday night, and I don't think the public schools have gone fishing, have gone on holidays. A lot of the private schools are already on holidays because of the borders, but still a good night, and I think they're expecting a big crowd tomorrow night here for Game 2.
Bandits sold out the Round 2 doubleheader. It's good to see this place full, and it makes everything a bit more fun. Of course, if you're watching this right now, it means you're probably not at the ballpark, but we appreciate your patronage anyway, and hope that if you're in the area, you can get out to a game, if not later this weekend, later this season. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Bandits. Lutz, Martinez, and Dutton against Kyohei Muranaka in his second inning of work. Lutz 0 for 2, a grounder to second and a strikeout. Big swing and a miss, 0-1. Skipped in the dirt. Easy take for Lutz. Lutz came into this ABL season a little less rusty than last year because he was representing his country in some international play. Playing career in the States is done. In fact, he's a coach in the Cincinnati Reds organization. High drive, deep right center field, back and gone! It's the 4th solo home run of the game for the Bandits. Donald Lutz's second of the year, and the Bandits have their lead back out to 2. It's 4-2. Empire jerky home run, and Lutz got a pitch down and elevated it. Jeremy Martinez hit a homer his last time up. First pitch misses inside, misses the glove of the catcher Holmza.
Yeah, I think he might have cost him a strike right there. It's actually not a bad location, just wasn't gloved by the catcher, but good job by Lutz right there. Talk about, a guy that has the ability to change a ball game, and once again another home run by the Bandits, the fourth solo shot tonight, but now we got a 4-2 ball game.
Chopped on the ground left side, charging is Hernandez. Throw is high, but Walker tall enough to pull it down. That'll bring in Wade Dutton. Lutz with what amounts to a curtain call here tonight.
Yeah, I think Lutz to give us a wave, and he gave him a wave, so.
Dutton 0 for 2. Fielder's choice ground out to short. And a little nubber that was fielded by the catcher in front of home plate. Ooh. Drops down a bunt. Starts fair but rolls foul. Had it stayed fair, it would have been an easy infield single.
Good idea. I mean, what that does early in the count, now it forces your third baseman to squeeze and play even with the bag at minimum, and then opens up that left side of the field so maybe you can hook something by him.
We'll keep an eye on this stat as the season progresses, and it really shouldn't surprise anybody. But the Bandits have now hit 13 home runs on the season, and 11 of them have come in their 5 games here at home. Sydney, not exactly home run friendly.
Not at all.
Adelaide, if the conditions are right, can yield some home runs, but certainly not to the degree of One Hub Stadium.
Well, I don't think we saw anything like that score in Geelong last week between Adelaide and, was it 24-3 or?
25-4, I thought. Bandits had their fun in Geelong last year. Got 9 homers from 8 different guys.
Yeah, and that's it plays big. I think ball just carries well, and obviously carried well on that night.
Down and to the backstop. With nobody on base, there's no reason for the catcher to sacrifice his body and block that. Except maybe out of courtesy to the home plate umpire.
That's it.
Dutton out in front. He's tagged on the pitch in the dirt. That is a strikeout for out number 2 in the 7th inning.
Yeah, good pitch right there. Down in the zone, just got him out in front and out number 2, but just both pitchers done a really good job. They've made obviously the mistakes on the home runs, but get a chance to see the pitch here again. Just down in the zone, just get him out front, and looks like they're going to either have a mound visit or a pitching change. I'm just trying to see.
That's not a trainer, that's a translator out to talk with the Japanese-born Kyohei Muranaka. And it is going to be a pitching change.
Yeah, interesting call because it looks like they're going to a righty, and you've got lefty-lefty combo. So not often you see that.
Lefty, 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 switch, lefty, if you want to really go down the batting order. But Steve Mintz has seen enough from Kyohei Muranaka, and we'll be back after this. Bandits on top 4-2.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
Bandits up 4-2 on the Auckland Tuatara with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. David Sutherland due up to bat against a new pitcher in the game for Auckland, Yujo Kitagata. Kitagata 1 win, no losses, making his 4th appearance, all of them coming in relief. He has not allowed an earned run in 2 1/3 innings. He's walked 6, but he's also struck out 6. We'll see if he can have command of the strike zone here and get the final out of the 7th inning.
Just looking at him out of the pen, a hard thrower, 2-pitch guy, fast and faster with a slider. Maybe 3 pitches.
Kitagata, this past American season, played in the Dodgers system in the Arizona League. 25 years old, about to turn 26, a native of Karatsu in Japan. David Sutherland is 1 for 2. Hit his first home run of the season back in the 3rd inning. First pitch down and into the backstop.
Did that go through him?
Certainly made Sutherland move his feet. Let's take another look, see how close that came.
Wow.
Almost off the shoelaces.
I don't know how he missed him.
Muranaka, an inning and 2/3, 1 run on 1 hit. It was the Lutz home run to begin the inning. Missing down 2-0. During the commercial break, we saw Ryan Battaglia taking some cuts in the on-deck circle, but Daniel Nielsen is back out there. He's the DH.
Wow, this guy throws hard.
3-0, and now we're seeing why Kitagata might not be the first option in the pen. While he has not allowed any runs, he's walked 6 batters in 2 1/3 innings. His whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, is an astronomical 3 in a small sample size, and he begins his outing with a 4-pitch walk to Sutherland.
Well, the key is right here with this young man is there's plenty of arm strength, so velo's up. It's just finding that command and that arm slot to be consistent in the strike zone.
Here is Daniel Nielsen, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly to right. What I believe happened was David Nielsen was planning to pinch hit for Dan Nielsen with a right-handed hitter, but once the lefty left the game, that allowed him to save that bench move in case he needs it later. Sutherland unlikely to move here. Nielsen stares at a strike, and after the 4-pitch walk to Sutherland, suddenly Kitagata's found the zone.
So just got a scouting report in. He hit 100 miles per hour on the weekend.
And he might have hit 100 on that pitch that missed just outside.
So a hundo. So people want to know what 100 miles an hour looks like. We're probably looking at right now probably mid to high 90s and up to 100 on a good day.
1-2 pitch.
Wow.
Inside corner called, strike 3. Well, we saw the yin and the yang of Yujo Kitagata. A walk, but then a strikeout, and we head to the 8th in Brisbane. Bandits on top by a score of 4-2.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Yeah!
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be
Thank you, Archer!
Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
Bandits take a 4-2 lead to the top of the 8th inning at One Hub Stadium in the round 4 opener. 6 outs to get, and Corey Taylor is still out there beginning his 4th inning of relief. No action right now in the Bandits' pen. Taylor, who was in the starting rotation until this round, may very well be asked to go the distance. 8-9-1 due up for the Tuatara, Hamza, Richards, and Hernandez. Johnny Hamza 1 for 2 with a solo homer to right center field his last time up. First pitch misses for a ball. Next pitch gets a chase down. Count evens 1-1.
Like you mentioned earlier, I'm not seeing any action up in the pen, so it'll be interesting to see if Surly does get up potentially for the 9th, but David may want to see if he can stretch him, and that way he can utilize his bullpen if he has to over game 2, 3, and 4.
You're not going to use Taylor again this series with the length that he's gone, so
No.
you might as well just empty the tank here.
100%, and when you look at the part of the order that he has to face, if he's not going to face a tough part of the order still with a 2-run lead, but now he goes in 3-1 count here with nobody out.
You don't want to walk the leadoff man, especially when he's at the bottom of the order. Hamza batting 8th. Chopped to short. Wade waits back on it and fires on to first. Hamza retired for the first out.
Good play right there by Logan. Logan got a little tricky hop to his left and really used his feet and hands well. Came up, fired across the dime for out number 1. But good job right there of getting behind the count 3-1 and then inducing that ground ball.
Any ground ball an infielder gets at normal depth is probably going to bounce somewhere where there's been a footprint, but especially here late in the game, you have to be wary of that last hop that you're going to get.
That's it. I mean, we're very fortunate. I mean, ooh.
In on the hands, jam shot, played on a hop, bare hand by Wade, and the throw is in time. Played to perfection by the Bandits shortstop.
I tell you what, that's where a little bit of the cricket action looks. Ball got in on his hands, or see right there. The ball had a lot of spin, so Logan waited for the bounce, but he takes that funny right-hand bounce, and he barehands it, comes up and fires a strike for out number 2. But good job by Logan just to stay patient and stay back behind that baseball.
Lineup now turns over for Yanni Hernandez. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a comebacker to the pitcher. First 2 plate appearances for Hernandez came as a righty, now in his second trip as a lefty. Takes at the knees, it doesn't like the call. 0-1. Just missing outside. Ryan Searle is now doing some calisthenics in the Bandits' pen, but is not throwing yet. Even if the plan is to go to Taylor, you'd probably want to have your closer ready. Another inside-out swing, and Wade responsible for all 3 outs in a quiet top of the 8th inning. It's still a 2-run lead for Brisbane as we go to the bottom half on Bandits.tv. Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operates the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable, and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines' 5-star award-winning service levels. So wherever you are heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see. 4-2, Bandits on top of the Tuatara going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Fun times in the Bandits dugout. Trying to remain undefeated at home after going 4-0 against Geelong Korea in round 2. With a win tonight, the Bandits will improve to 7-6 on the season. Entering tonight, tied for first place with the Sydney Blue Sox. Seems to be a lot more parity around the league this year. That is, of course, a good thing for the league. And with 5 playoff spots among the 8 teams up for grabs, would be surprised at all to see it go down to the wire once again.
No, I think it will. I like the balance of the 2 divisions. I like the balance of all the teams this year. And one of the biggest things you see is now you start seeing a lot stronger bullpens, and which allows teams to stay in the contest. And this year is going to be a very interesting year, and it always comes down to the pointy end, which is normally 2 weeks before regular season's over.
Top of the order, due up for Brisbane, Andrew Campbell, followed by Wade and Caldwell. First pitch misses inside. More fire from Yujo Kitagata, the flame-throwing righty from Japan. Chopped foul, and the count evens. The Bandits will see the other team in their own division next round, round 5, as they travel to Canberra to take on the Cavalry. Canberra and Auckland, both 2 games back of the Bandits, with a 4-8 record. Pitch for a strike, the count 1-2. Perth and Melbourne tied for first place in the Southwest Division. Adelaide has a winning record, but they're in 3rd place with Geelong Korea in 4th. Down and away 2-2. Even though the Bandits won all 4 of their games against Geelong Korea, we could tell that was a much improved team from last year. Yeah,
they're a good ball club. I think they'll get better throughout the year. They've got good balance between bats and their arms. And they've got
swing,
and obviously they've got good leadership with Lloydie at the helm, and he'll, as he starts to adjust to his players, he'll start making the right moves at the right time. So don't be surprised to see them in the hunt.
Payoff pitch coming. Bandits would love to get their speedy leadoff man on and maybe add a run or 2 in the 8th. Wow, nasty pitch. Little fastball at 100, and then that.
Little snapper. That's just not fair. And that's what's tough as a hitter when we talk about the elite levels. And this young man is just at the lower ranks of the Arizona League and with the Dodgers organization. So see how quickly he can adjust with his command and see how he can accelerate up that food chain.
Logan Wade up next. 1 for 2. Strikeout in the first, a solo homer in the 3rd, and a hit by pitch in the 6th. Up and away.
Just talking to Tommy West, because he's been in Double-A last year. He's saying the number of arms that are now in the system, and you would see the same thing, that are mid to high 90s and hundreds now. It's becoming the norm.
Called strike, the count 1-1. Well, it's just like any other applied science. You're not going to go backwards. You are going to continue to refine and perfect the throwing motion. And as a result, more and more pitchers are able to bring it up in the high 90s or even the triple digits. if Kitagata knew where he was throwing the ball every single time, he would not still be in short season rookie ball, but we can see the potential here.
Yeah, look, it's hard. It's like they said, you can't teach 100, but you can teach command. So
Kitagata, 25 years old, and just last year pitched his first American professional inning.
Wow.
5-pitch walk, and Wade is aboard. 4 men have faced Kitagata. 2 have struck out, and 2 have earned free passes.
That was his line coming into the game.
That
So
it was.
shooting par at the moment.
And it looks like the Tuatara are going to the pen again. Steve Mintz, with the heart of the order coming up, wants a bit more reliability on the mound with the game potentially on the line. New Auckland pitcher coming up after this. It's 4-2 Bandits on Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
The Bandits have a 2-run lead, and there are 3, 4, and maybe 5 hitters due up here with 1 down and a man at first. New pitcher in the game for Auckland is Lucas Jacobson. Jacobson, like a couple of his other teammates, is in the Texas Rangers minor league system. Last year in the South Atlantic League with the Hickory Crawdads, pitched to a 3.90 ERA. This year in a small sample size with Auckland, a 9.64 ERA, 5 runs on 5 hits in 4 2/3 innings. He is left-handed, and the first man he faces, Tim Colwell, bats from the left side as well. Every run tonight has scored via the home run. There has been only 1 hit that did not leave the yard. That was a harmless 2-out single from Kim Won-seok in the top of the 7th inning that was immediately erased on a caught stealing.
Yeah, it's been a good ball game. I mean, overall, the arms have actually thrown well. I mean, it's 4-2, but they've only really conceded the solo shots, and each ball was hit fairly well, but both teams done a brilliant job of pitching effectively.
Jacobson, a tall drink of water, standing 6'5". Ooh. First pitch, left up, but up too much for Tim Colwell's liking. Jacobson, a product of California State University, Long Beach. Jason Giambi, Troy Tulowitzki, and Evan Longorio, products of that school. 2-0 now the count. Swing and a miss, or rather a foul tip. That was the 2-0 pitch that Colwell was looking for, but couldn't make enough contact.
Once again, another good live arm, and obviously release point coming, big 6'5" lefty. So
Wade runs well, but he might be chastened a bit. He was caught stealing second after reaching on the hit by pitch in the 6th inning. First time he's been thrown out on the bases this year. 3-1 now the count. The switch hitting Mitch Nielsen on deck. Not a pickoff throw, but a look over. Jacobson showing that he has not forgotten about the speedy runner at first. Ooh, big swing and another foul tip. The count runs full.
So when you see what they have, Tuatara, they've got some good arms. It's just if they can just find a way to put themselves on. I've seen the ball games they've lost. It's been late in the ball game, so they know how to compete and just find a way to close it out.
Payoff pitch to Tim Caldwell. Runner goes, and it's lifted in the air down the left field line. Long run over for Kim. Towards the line, he makes a catch in fair territory. And Wade will retreat back to first. Hit well, just a little bit too much hang time. 2 down now for Mitch Nielsen. We talk about late inning disappointments. If this game were played in Auckland, the game would already be over. They play only 7 innings in their home games. Again, we're not going to give our opinions on whether or not we think that's a good idea because our opinions, frankly, don't matter. If you're watching and you want to contribute in the comments section, go on ahead and start your own fire. We're not going to put it out. Nielsen 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a comebacker to the pitcher. He takes outside ball 1.
It will change the coaching styles, obviously, how they utilize arms, and you look what David did today. Wouldn't have to go to his closer if he worked on a 7-inning format.
Speaking of his closer, Ryan Searle is throwing. Whether or not he will get the 9th inning remains to be seen.
I did see that. He looks like he is heating up, like he has intentions to come in. So it'll be interesting to see if David makes that move to go to his closer.
First 4 innings went to Bollinger. The next 4 to Taylor. Nielsen takes just beneath the knees for a ball 2-1. Wade at first after his 1-out walk. The Bandits have only 4 hits tonight, but they were all solo home runs. Up and away, 3-1. Left-handed hitting power hitter Donald Lutz with a homer already tonight, waiting next. And there is Searle. Looks like he's done throwing, or at least taking a break as he sips on some water. At 3-1, this needs to be Nielsen's pitch. It wasn't. He chased upstairs, and he comes up empty, 3-2. You can hit that pitch, and you can hit it hard somewhere, but you'd like something a little bit down, right?
Well, you're committed. I mean, anytime you get in hitting counts, you commit to strike. I'd rather see a guy aggressive in those counts than late. So now he's got a battle here, 3-2, see if he can get something he can drive.
Wade will go upon delivery. Payoff pitch. Just got a piece, fouled straight back.
When you talk about little ballparks, you know, if you, from my perspective, you get hitting counts and you even get borderline pitches and you feel like you can barrel up, stay aggressive.
As the kids say, elevate and celebrate. If you do one, you're probably going to be doing the other here at One Hub Stadium. Another 3-2. This time, Nielsen strikes out. And Jacobson puts up an all-important 0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. It will be a 2-run lead for Ryan Searle to protect as he comes on for the save. You're watching Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
It's a 4-2 Bandits lead over the Auckland Tuatara, with the Brisbane closer Ryan Searle coming on for the save. Searle is making his 6th appearance on the year, all of them in late relief. 1 win, 1 loss, an ERA of 6.75. He's 2 for 3 in save opportunities. He's allowed 7 hits in 5 1/3 innings, but he has struck out 11 batters, and that tells you all you need to know about Ryan Searle. He's going to challenge you.
No, he will, and he thrives in these situations. And once again, David's gone to his recipe for success, and that's get to his closer and try to close this ball game out. He's got his work cut out for him. He's got a tough part of the lineup due up, so now he's got to bear down and try to get the job done.
2, 3, and 4. Blackstone, Morgan, and Walker for the Tuatara. Morgan, due up second in the inning, has one of the 2 Auckland home runs tonight, a solo shot back in the first. Kent Blackstone is 0 for 3, a pair of deep flies to left and a grounder to second. First from Searle, misses inside and goes to the backstop. Corey Taylor is in line for the win, only because Ryan Bollinger didn't complete 5 innings in his start, but Taylor pitched well. 1 run on 2 hits over 4 innings, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Inside again, 2-0. Swing and a miss. That was not the 2-0 pitch that Blackstone was looking for, but he went down and chased it anyway. Whether this game ends in a few minutes or goes deep into the night, we encourage you to stick around after the final out for a new addition to the Bandits.TV coverage this year, a post-game press conference. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Good job with Sterling falling behind early 2-0 and then coming back with a good 2-1 backdoor slider. So now he puts himself back in a 2-2 count.
What's the strikeout pitch? There it was. Breaking ball down and in, gets a swinging strike 3 and out number 1 in the 9th inning.
We talk about, thriving in these situations, and Searle's done a good job for a number of years now for the Bandits in these situations of coming in and particularly trusting the fact that he can throw that pitch at any time, any count. So good job coming back from 2-0 count for out number 1.
Here's Josh Morgan. Up and away, and the count is 1-0. Not going to belabor the point with all the solo home runs tonight, but how big is that extra run that the Bandits got on the Donald Lutz solo shot in the 7th inning? The Tuatara will need to get a man aboard in order to potentially tie this game with 1 swing. Called strike, gets 1-1.
No, I agree, and it's also big for Lutzy. Lutzy had couple tough first at bats and made the adjustment. I like the fact that he stayed in the middle of the diamond. When he's successful, he doesn't force the pull. He uses the whole field, and once again shows his ability to make that adjustment.
In on the hands, 2-1. I don't know if that was the intended location of that pitch, but what can Searle do on the next offering after backing Morgan off the plate?
Well, and that's it. Now you get him thinking about inner half potentially, and it opens up the outer half. Looks like he's called for a pitch off on the other half. Can he execute his location?
Just a little bit outside, and Morgan spat on it. 3-1. Jared Walker on deck.
3.
Don't want to give the Tuatara any unearned base runners and a glimmer of hope. Just off the inside edge, a 5-pitch walk, puts a man aboard, and as a result, the tying run will come to the plate.
And once again, that's where how important was that Lutzy home run, because now it is a tying run, not the go-ahead win or the win. So he's now got to bear down. He's got a big part of the lineup up for Tuatara, so he's got to make sure he stays to his game plan.
Jared Walker is 0 for 2. With a walk in the first, a grounder to third in the 4th, and a grounder back to the pitcher in the 6th. Bandits turn to double play behind Ballinger in the second. They love a ground ball hit at somebody here. Hit hard, but foul. Walker was early.
Number 3, but you're number 1 in my heart, Walker.
Tuatara starter Kyle Glogowski right now is on the hook for the loss. Allowed only 3 hits, but all of them were solo homers in his 5-inning start. Down and in, and the count evens 1-1. Birds are taking over the field.
Yeah, that may be a kookaburra there. That definitely.
It's an ominous sign. Maybe it means the Tuatara are just about done. Big swing and a miss. Walker tried to tie it with that cut, but came up empty.
10.
Searle went for the breaking ball to get the strikeout of Blackstone, a fellow left-handed hitter, to begin the inning. Martinez gives the sign. Strike 3. Out number 2. You throw that pitch down there, and nothing bad can happen.
Yeah, really good location. And we're talking about execution of pitches. And that's a tough pitch for a lefty to lay off. It looks down and in. Looks like you can do some damage with it. Next thing you know, it's off your back shoelace.
The last hope for the Tuatara is center fielder Max Brown. He's done more in the field than at the plate tonight. 0 for 2 with a walk, but he made a great catch at the wall and a Tim Colwell drive back in the 6th inning. Searle's first. Just missing, down and a little bit in. Crowd falls silent in anticipation. The 1-0. Breaking ball for a strike.
Good pitch right there. Surly shook him on 3 different pitches and then get back and coming back to that slider. Just good execution, good location.
Searle set. The 1-1. Brown takes, belt high on the outside corner and doesn't like the call.
Yeah, look, good location right there. And once again, he got a slider, it shook, and then got outer half fastball and then absolutely hit his spot right there.
Crowd now making some noise. Bandits a strike away from victory. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. The Bandits take game 1 and remain undefeated at home with a 4-2 victory over the Auckland Tuatara. 4 solo home runs make the difference, and the Bandits are above the 500 mark for the first time this season. There are the totals. The only non-home run was the 7th inning single from Kim Won-suk of the Tuatara. Regardless of how it went down, the Bandits will take it, and we will hear more from both teams after this broadcast takes a pause. We invite you to stay with us and stay on the stream. We're going to have a commercial break and then have a post-game press conference with representatives of both teams answering questions about tonight's effort. For Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer signing off for now. Thanks for watching this presentation of Bandits.tv.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a different game from the weekend we had in Sydney. I think it was nice to get back here. Obviously, get rewarded when you put some good wood on the ball, but you're never really comfortable in this ballpark because of that reason. And a 2-run lead going into the ninth inning really doesn't mean anything. Searle threw the ball good, so really happy to get the outcome.
4 innings from your starter Bollinger, 4 innings from Taylor, and then your closer won the 9th inning. Was that the plan all along?
Somewhere around that, it worked out really well. It would have been nice to get Bollinger 5 innings, but his pitch count was at that stage. I wanted to get him out there, and Corey's been throwing fantastically, so it worked out well. Get him into the 5th, get him the W, and get Searle the save.
Next question is for Corey Taylor. 4 innings tonight, only 2 hits and 1.
Just trusting the sinker and just throwing it right down the middle and have been beaten in the ground. That's honestly what I've been trying to tell myself.
After allowing the home run in the fifth inning, you settled down pretty nicely. Any adjustments that you made?
Not really.
All right, we'll move on to the Auckland folks. This is your first time playing here at this ballpark this season. You obviously had some games here last year. How did you feel your team adjusted to the way that this game unfolded with the solo home runs leading the way?
We try to talk to our pitchers quite a bit about not walking people, and I think we might have walked a couple there at the end, but the old saying is, solo home runs aren't going to beat you unless the other team hits 4 and you only hit 2. So, but it's always great to come here to see my good mate Dingo, to spend some time with him just to talk about the game. But yeah, I mean, I thought we threw some at bats away in the middle part of the game. I think first part of the game, I think we were grinding away, but kind of let it slip away from us. And we were, Golaski, the 3 mistakes he made, they hit him out of the ballpark. So we'll just have to continue working on that and getting better in those areas.
The game-winning hit was the Martinez homer in the 4th inning, but how much did the Lutz homer in the 7th inning, extending the deficit to 2, change the way you had to approach your comeback in the late innings?
Well, like Dingo said, this ballpark, I don't care if you got a 7-run lead, you still, you feel like, you're still kind of in ball games a lot. But obviously, when something goes from one swing of the bat to you need a base runner and another swing, it makes it a little bit tougher. But we felt there in the 9th inning, Searle did a good job. We had the heart of our order up. We were only able to get 1 guy on base, so we've got to do better in those areas.
Legoski struck out 7 over 5 innings. What was working for him tonight?
I think his changeup. He was able to, especially with a heavy left-handed lineup. He was able to get some changeups over when he was he was always behind in the count. So he was able to get some changeups in there and get some soft outs. But the off-speed pitches he left up, they made him pay for it.
For many of our viewers, this was their first time seeing Yujo Kitagata, and while he did walk a couple batters, he showed off that triple-digit fastball. What is there in him potential-wise, and where can he grow as a pitcher?
Obviously, we see the velocity, and then when he throws that slider. And what you look at now in the big leagues, you got the guys, they're coming in and getting 3 outs, and that's basically what they're doing, using 2 pitches. And I think that's where the Dodgers see him with the fastball and the slider. And obviously we've got to get the fastballs hot, but we've got to get it in the zone more often. But sometimes it seems like when he throws that slider, it tends to get that fastball back in there for him.
Next question is for Tuatara catcher Johnny Holmza. You hit a solo home run in the 5th inning. Did you know that was gone off the bat?
Yeah, kind of. I know with the field and the wind and everything.
You were catching this game. You caught a couple of different pitchers. How did you call the game, knowing the way, again, this game unfolded with all the solo home runs being hit?
Yeah, we talked before the game. Talked about the field and try not to leave anything out over the plate, try to get ahead and look over, and these guys are giving signs occasionally. Just try to get ahead. Legoski's got a good changeup, big curveball, so we just went with that.
How are you liking the Australian Baseball League so far?
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap it up with a question for each manager talking about what's to come in the series. David, you're now undefeated at home, 5-0 here at One Hub Stadium. What are you looking for out of your next few games to tomorrow with Greg Teasley on the mound?
Well, again, hopefully good starting pitching, and as Steve said, limit our walks. That's the big thing in this park here, is trying to limit the free passes, keep guys off base, because anything can happen in any pitch, any count, and just let the guys continue to swing. They scuffed a little bit early in the season, and hopefully get some more at bats and just see where it goes. I feel pretty comfortable. I think I've seen enough of Steve's team to know it's going to be a battle these next 3 games.
Steve, Jared Koenig has been maybe statistically the best pitcher in the league this year with only 1 run allowed in 18 innings. What did he do well his last time out, and what can he carry forward into tomorrow's start?
Well, the first thing we want to do is make sure they don't go 6-0. So we're going to try to do that. No, he can command his fastball. He has elite command of his fastball, and then with his off-speed pitches, he's able to navigate around and then make his fastball a little bit better. So we're expecting him to go out and hopefully like Dingo said, I mean, we want our starting pitchers to get us into games. We feel like if we can get our starters, and you get your starters into the 5th, 6th inning of ball games, you feel like you have a chance to win. So obviously we'd like to, maybe play with the lead. It seems like we do a lot better that way. But like Dingo said, this isn't going to be a cakewalk the next 3 days. We understand it, and we understood it before we got here. And so we're just going to tell the guys to keep, trying to get ahead, throw the ball to the plate, and grind out at bats when they're at the plate.
Any other questions from the assembled media? All right. Thanks, guys, for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
That's weak, all y'all hushed up back there. I don't know.